Hey guys, welcome to Two Dudes Talking. I'm DJ Schroep. That's Dustin Ovitz. What's going on? First thing out the gate, UFC Fight Night, Covington versus Woodley.
Must win.
I mean, I think it's a must win for both. I mean, obviously more for Woodley than Covington, but Covington used to, train out of American Top Team, and with Woodley and guys that are helping Woodley out right now, like a one Jorge Masvidal,
BMF, the former BMF rather,
whatever that title is. But Covington is still in town. He hasn't left. He hasn't moved out of the area. He's training over with Ricardo Lamas, which I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird when you're a MAGA guy and you're training with someone who is a descendant of immigrants. To me, like, the narrative is just weird, because I just equate, Colby Covington to someone who is misinformed. I don't call him a racist, because I don't know if he has that in him. I don't know, but I just think, like, you're Mr. MAGA. And so but there's a lot of bad blood between these guys. Getting off of that, they don't like each other.
Yeah.
Covington's coming off of that loss after losing the interim belt to Usman. And so, you argue in order for him to kind of get back into title contention, into, fighting for the title, he's going to have to beat Woodley. And Burns did it against Woodley. Got himself a title shot, right? Woodley seems to be the guy that, if you want that next title shot, you got to test against. Woodley, who has not let his hands go in a few fights, promises that he will.
That doesn't mean anything. You know that.
That doesn't mean anything. Look, you have two guys that are wrestlers at their base, so that means it's going to be a stand-up brawl, right? I remember Jake Ellenberger once told me, because I asked him, like, why do wrestlers never just go back to their wrestling? They always seem to want to throw hands. Because he's like, wrestling takes a lot of energy out of you. And when you realize you can end it in one punch, you're going to want to try to do that. And so I think that's what these guys are going to want to do. I've read many reports that people are like, in terms of cardio, give it to Covington. I don't think Woodley has any quit in him. So I think that this
guy does.
Yeah, I don't think that cardio is going to come into play as a real advantage or disadvantage to either. I think it'll come down to, does Woodley really want to throw? How desperate is he? Is he going to let the external distractions be something? He's Mr. TMZ. He's Mr. I want to be in movies and TV. Are those the things that are distracting him from actually performing in the Octagon? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a must-win. I don't know if I hate must-win fights, that, but I kind of feel this is Tyron Woodley's like a last real shot, given that I think he's 38 or 9.
Yeah,
somewhere there.
Yeah, he's not on the right side of the 30s for sure. Yeah,
but he's another fight. You got Cowboy fighting versus Nico Price.
No, but hold on. Before we get onto that, I just want to kind of finish off. Just talking about the bad blood, and the fake bad blood that we usually get sold in the UFC
all the time.
This one really feels like these two dudes hate each other, right?
Hey.
And I can buy that, which I am super happy that it's a fight on ESPN and not, not a pay-per-view that I'm just happy that I'm going to be able to, that I'm going to want to watch it and not feel guilty about buying another bad pay-per-view, which
there's been so many,
which obviously this would be a bad pay-per-view. Who knows? But yeah, like I said, I like the fact that these guys actually hate each other, that there is bad blood coming from, the place that these guys train together. And, Covington thinks he's fighting for his country's honor, and he's trying to regain that, whatever that means. Read into it however you want. I just think it's a weird thing to say. But anyway, prediction time. I'm gonna say Woodley finally wakes up and wins in unanimous decision.
You said Colby's a MAGA guy?
Yeah, big time.
Woodley's from Ferguson, Missouri.
Okay.
So screw it, I'll take Woodley.
What's that have to do with anything? That he's from Ferguson, Missouri.
Well, Ferguson's not a real big fan of MAGA, obviously.
Oh yeah, I mean, who is a big fan of MAGA?
Colby.
Colby Covington, and apparently newly minted champ Justin Gaethje,
yeah.
Who visited with Trump with Henry Cejudo and Dana White and others, but whatever.
Well, Dana White we know is Uncle Dana, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm surprised that Henry Cejudo visited with Trump, given all the things that he's said about Mexico and immigrants.
He's gonna make him pay for a wall.
And I'm not real. Look, Henry Cejudo was never my favorite, but he is now really not my favorite, and I'm glad I never had to see that dude fight again. Because if he does, I will always root for the opponent, just because I take things like that very personally. But anywho, yes, Donald Cerrone back in the Octagon again.
Yeah.
He's fighting a guy who is pretty destructive in his own right. And I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I mean, what about you?
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a good fight. I mean, Nico Price he can knock you out.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got hands.
Those guys are gonna throw. So I think it'll just be a matter of who gets them at volume and then who connects at the right time.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
by what, 10 years?
Yeah.
7 years. Sorry, Cowboy.
I think Cowboy's on his last leg of fights. I think this is the Cowboy farewell tour.
Well, he's fought 52 times.
Yeah, he's got a lot of mileage.
That's a lot of fights.
I think at this point, contending for a title is probably done. I don't think he's ever going to contend for a title again. I think that the division is way too skilled and strong and fast for him. And I don't know when. Maybe he had a window a couple years ago, but I think that's now done. So we're just going to see Cowboy fighting these highlight reel type guys, and maybe the UFC can get a few more sizzle reels out of him. Hopefully.
Look, I love watching Cowboy fight, so it'll be sad when he retires. In my opinion, a Hall of Famer.
Cowboy, he couldn't hold a candle to Usman. I mean,
he's had some great fights. Don't get me wrong, but I think
if
you put him in the cage with it.
Yeah, great fights.
Yeah, if you put him in the cage right now with Usman, I think it would not be pretty.
No, I don't think he'd get out of the first or even second round. I think he'd be lucky to get into the second round with Usman.
I think he can make the second round just on his, history and knowing how to survive, but I think the second round would be it.
Yeah, I think time's catching up to him, or it has caught up to him, and the division has passed him by.
37.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think at this point he's just fighting for the money. Hopefully he's saving up so that he can retire and go explore other things. But my prediction is Nico gets a second round knockout. Early second round, like first minute. Like he's going to get into trouble in the first round, barely escape it. First minute of the second round, Nico's going to get him, and it'll be done.
I'm taking Cowboy, third round head kick.
Okay.
He's gonna wear him down, and then
he's gonna still have he's still gonna have the cart. Like, I guess you're saying he's gonna last until the third round and then still be able to do a head kick, in an efficient manner to knock out another dude.
Why not? Go for broke.
I believe that more so in a first round, but a third round head kick. That's like what, a 0.00000% chance of happening, but it could happen.
Got to play the long odds if you want to win.
I mean, that's the one you bet $1 on to win $1 million.
Exactly. But I like that money because then I don't lose as much.
Yeah, look, I mean, first, with Woodley, I'm going with the underdog, and with
Yeah.
Nico, I'm going with obviously the favored fighter.
Mm.
But
Mm.
we'll see what happens. So this is definitely not sports related, but I do want to start a new segment where we talk about something that is not anything related to sports ball. And I have a story. I want your take on it and see where we go from there. It looks like Susan Pompeo, who is Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State's wife, has been enlisting staffers to help her with Christmas cards, or has helped them with Christmas cards, personal Christmas cards, not Christmas cards from the State Department, but hey, I have a bunch of people I need to send Christmas cards to. Hey, staffer, she's not part of the staff of the State Department, is grabbing people to help her with it. So this person, or one of the people that helped her, whistle blew on her. And yeah, I mean, what's your take there?
They don't work for you. Taxpayers shouldn't be paying for that.
Uh-huh.
She should reimburse us for that cost. Not me personally, but taxpayers on a whole. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, look, I look at it as, I also blame that State Department staffer, because you know what? I would have point blank said, no, I cannot help you on that. And I would have felt protected to do so.
They would have fired you, but then you would have had a nice claim.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I feel protected. Like, look, if my boss would have asked me to help him with some Christmas cards, I would have been like, I don't really have time. I'm out of here. Peace out. And I would have been fine with doing so. I mean, look, it goes even deeper than that. Apparently on Monday nights, they throw dinner parties, or they have before the pandemic, were throwing dinner parties for GOP donors and people that would help raise Mike Pompeo's status and rating amongst Washington socialites.
What?
And apparently they stopped it during the pandemic, and they have ramped them back up again. So there's these Monday night dinners that happen at the State Department on government property, that people go if you donate enough money or you have enough power. So Pompeo, looking for his next payday after leaving his position in government.
Wow.
Look, I mean, it's dumbfounding what these people, or how blatant they are. And I'm not saying that Democrats have not done something like this, because I'm sure that they have. I'm sure that all politicians do, and I'm sure all politicians do in some way. It just disgusts me that there are not more whistleblowers and not more people talking about these type of atrocities. And I think they are robber barons who are taking from the coffers to do things.
There are a lot of people that have said that we're dealing with many, I won't say whom, current robber barons to a different extent, because obviously the robber barons, there was so much insider trading. That's pretty much why there's the insider trading laws there are now. Yeah. But in a sense, they're mini robber barons, or robber baron light. I don't know, whatever you want to call
them. Yeah. I mean, they're stealing from the American people, and it's disgusting. And
absolutely.
I hope it stops. But anyway, that's my story. You say you have a story. Do you have a story?
I did, but I had, the Kanye Moses story. That was always entertaining.
Well, let's talk about it.
All right. Did you read it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kanye thinks that basically he's Moses, or God. I'm not really sure which, or Jesus. And he's basically saying that every music artist, or just artist in general, I didn't really know what he was going after, and NBA athletes should be let out of their slave contracts with their, I don't know if he used the word slave, but that's what he meant, with, Sony, Universal, etc., or the NBA team. I'm like, okay. Many of those people, not all of them, make a lot of money off of those contracts and their performance and services rendered under those contracts. My viewpoint of it is that it's not indentured servitude, particularly like any slave from, what was it, 400 years ago. So I don't really understand or agree with his point.
Yeah.
I don't understand what he's doing. I don't know if he's having mental issues or if he's
If.
just crazy.
And it's all well and good to claim that you are some sort of Moses who will lead people to a better life. Leave your multi-million-dollar job. It's all easy to do that when you are also a multimillionaire and
Yeah.
you are encouraging other people to give up their livelihood. I don't see him giving up any of his livelihood. I mean, look, the guy is batshit crazy, right?
Yeah.
He says things for shock value. My thing is how people are following this guy. And I mean, look, I understand his inner circle following him because they're just hangers on trying to get a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But the fans that continue to support him, I mean, it's amazing to me because to be honest, he hasn't made a good album since College Dropout, and he went off the deep end after that, right? So, I mean, look, I like old Kanye. I don't like new Kanye. And it has nothing to do with his religious take or his newfound rebornness or whatever he's calling it. But he just says things that you're like, is he on drugs?
Or is it drugs that he needs to be on?
Or is it drugs he needs to be on? I mean, look, there was an old saying where it's like, you know, money, when you have money, you're oh man, I can't remember what the saying is. When you have money, you're eccentric. When you're poor and crazy, you're mental, right? It's something along that lines. And because he has all this money, people are looking at him as eccentric.
No, he's not eccentric.
He's something. He's something because some people are willing to, and I mean, can Kim Kardashian really be in love with that dude? Like, that's insane. I mean, she's dumber than a bucket of nails, but at the end of the day, like,
smarter than all of us. Who knows?
I mean, you can't look across the room and say, that dude's got it all. I mean, because it's not like he's tremendously good looking. He's not,
Chris Evans. It's to her.
I mean, he's not. Look, I get it. I mean, to each their own. I just think it's a mind blower when what are his redeeming qualities as a human being that you'd want to be with someone like that?
And
I don't know.
For all we know, when he's inside the house, he could be like the most amazing father of all time. I have no idea. But whatever he says,
I'm not betting on it. I'm not betting on it.
I would not either, but it's got to be something because every public thing he does is, holy God, everybody hold on. What the hell is he going to say or do?
Yeah, I mean, help me, Jesus, help him, Jesus. I don't know, but he definitely needs some help. He needs to find Jesus for sure.
I think he thinks he is the next. I mean,
I think he thinks he's
the next coming.
Yeah, apparently I thought he was Jesus, whatever the hell he is.
Yeah.
I mean, look, one last thing. I brought up Chris Evans' name. Chris Evans with the dick pic for the win.
Oh, you mean go out and vote? Go register?
Yeah, I mean, look, rumors are that it was his brother, that it wasn't him. I don't care whose dick it was. I mean, how many dick pics has the universe seen at this point? I think that we're very desensitized. Look, we're desensitized to the dick pic, so it's not as bad of a scandal anymore, right? But he played it brilliantly by saying, "Oh, I've been off social media for a couple days. What's going on?" And then, then followed up with a, "Hey, now that I got your attention, why don't you go vote?" I mean, look, he's played it off brilliantly. I think that, I mean, if you're gonna do it right, actually, if you're gonna make a mistake like that, one, be very likable like Chris Evans, but two, act like it's not a big deal and just joke around with it. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, it's just another dick in the it's another dick in the interwebs, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, anyway, that's all I got. Let's talk about NFL Sunday real quick. I mean, what we learned.
Tom Brady's old.
We learned that yeah, but it was if you're gonna start a team and wanna have a quarterback, you're still not turning down taking Tom Brady or Drew
No way. You
Brees.
definitely take him. Cam Newton
Because
is great when he's healthy.
and Cam Newton is a stud when healthy. And if
Two
you don't wear and if you don't wear a mask, the NFL is going to call you out on it. There was a memo that went out by Troy Vincent, and he basically said, you need to be coaches, you need to be following protocol. And a lot of it happened to do with one Los Angeles coach, Sean McVay, who the whole time was wearing his mask like a chin strap. But what was amazing is he's calling the plays and he's holding his little play page over his face so you can't see what he's saying. And it's like, it'd be amazing if there was some way you could cover your mouth and still talk.
Oh, wait.
Your mask.
Pull up your mask. You don't need your card. You can say whatever you want.
It's just Sean McVay and the continuing, not giving a shit about Corona. We learned that about him in Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
He's still doing it. If, like I said, if I had to bet in which team's going to get Corona first, he'd be in the top 5. Like, his team would be in the top 5 for sure.
You would take the Rams?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I learned from Sunday. But I'm just happy football's back.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. College games were weird too. It's different.
Yeah, it is different. I will say that I didn't really notice the fans not being there. I'm sure being in the stadium, you might think differently, but on TV, I really didn't notice. I mean, they had some ambient noise, but other than that, I didn't really notice the difference in gameplay and entertainment value for me anyway. I don't really miss them cutting away to a fan who's that he's painted himself team colors and he's wearing a mask or, and like I'm saying, like an animal mask, not like a mask. I don't care about that stuff, I don't care about, I also don't really particularly care about fandom in that way.
I get it.
But yeah, I'm more about just watching the sport and having fun watching that.
Yeah. The NBA bubble, NHL bubble continue to be good. MLB is going to do a bubble for the playoffs or a semi-bubble. That's good news. So
whatever the heck that means.
It's like multiple, but it's weird. Complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I think baseball got lucky that they didn't have to shut down the season.
They get lucky.
I think there's part luck and part ignoring what's going on. And let's just keep plowing forward. And hopefully the Dodgers or one of our other playoff teams doesn't get sick.
Oh, yeah. If they have the Dodgers,
I think that's where they were.
Houston or whomever gets sick, see ya.
Yeah. Done. I think that they've just gotten extremely lucky that way. But yeah, I mean, we'll see kind of how it pans out. So far, so good.
Yep. Nuggets Clippers playing Game 7 right now.
Yep. And I'm going to say that the Nuggets move on.
Really?
Yeah, I think that this Clipper experiment is over.
Wow.
Do you see Doc Rivers surviving this season?
Yeah, I do.
Why? Honest take.
Because I think that Ballmer is going to keep him around until he builds his new arena.
And then hire someone else. Okay. I can see that. I mean, look, I think Doc Rivers survives more because of the things he does off the court.
Oh, amazing.
Which have been amazing. You can't fire a guy like that right now. You just can't. The optics on it would look so bad.
That would look so awful.
It would.
Social justice stuff? Thanks. Get out.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he'll survive, but I think you're right. I think that he has another year or two to figure this out. But it also is apparent that the Clippers are still missing something.
You mean like the Rockets? Oh.
Yeah. I
Small
mean,
ball doesn't
look,
work.
small ball doesn't quite work. And also, too, a guy who's a great player, but just is not really an engaged player like Kawhi.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Toronto showed that, not that they didn't need Kawhi Leonard to win a championship, but they're a pretty damn good team without Kawhi Leonard.
They were great.
So I mean, and he did the same thing in San Antonio. I just think he needs a real good support cast. And that's why from the beginning of the season, I've always picked the Lakers. But how could you not pick the Lakers given how that supporting cast is stepping up and how one Mr. Caruso, who is Mr. Pure Shooter, continues to perform. I mean, Caruso is
Pure shooter.
he's that guy. he's that guy.
Yeah, I like him and Kuzma.
I do. I mean, look, I mean, Kuz can have his off days, but when he's on and is playing an all-around game, how do the Lakers lose?
Yeah, when they get bench play from like Rondo, Kuz, if he's coming off the bench, Caruso.
Yeah,
it's really hard to stop.
It
absolutely in Houston, and they played great defense. Well, not
is.
great. They played pretty good defense against Houston. So
I
don't know how you stop that team.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be tremendously difficult. Yeah, but anyway,